Good afternoon, folks. It's February 1st, a Tuesday, and it's 13:31 hours. The House Transportation Subcommittee is now in session. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Representative Boyd. Grills. Here. Hall.
Here.
Hicks of Washington. Here. Howell.
Here.
Potts. Russell.
Here.
Towns. Vital.
Here.
And Chairman Whitson.
Here.
Sir, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Any personal orders or announcements for the committee? Well, I have one. I'd like to welcome a new member to our committee, Representative Vital from the Chattanooga area, I understand, and glad to have you on this committee. I think you'll find this is the best committee to be on, transportation, in the House of Representatives. I'll say that with our good chairman. Good to see you there, Chairman Boyd. And so anyway, I would like to welcome everyone to the Transportation Subcommittee. I want to introduce our staff. First of all, we have Jeremy Maxwell is the committee research analyst and a guy that we could not work without. Joel Haynes, same over here, as our legal counsel. You know, he sits real close to me to make sure I stay on track and on target. Thank you, Joel. And of course, Amanda Conway, my legislative assistant and one that keeps me on track too. Isabel Page is our committee intern for the year. Where's Isabel? Okay, there you are. Hey, Isabel. Our clerk is Laura Goins, I'm sorry. And Sergeant at Arms is Mr. Townsend. There you are. There, takes good care of us. Also, like to recognize folks that I really depend on and I enjoy so much working with, and this is the good folks from the Department of Safety and TDOT. Brian Carroll, John Waddell, and James Held. Is Elizabeth here today? Okay, Liv is a stroker. I don't see her, but again, I appreciate all they do to help us move this committee along. Here's some rules real quick. Just want to go over pretty much the same as last year. If a bill sponsor wants a third-party testimony or if someone is interested in testifying before this committee for or against a bill, they must notify my office within 24 hours in advance. A roll call vote must be requested when the bill sponsor begins their presentation. Once the chair calls for the vote, it's too late unless 3 members of the committee raise their hands and request a roll call vote. House rules do not allow live video streaming by members or staff while in committee. A bill can be calendared 3 times. If it's calendared and we run out of time and do not get to the bill, it will not count against you, okay? And it will be on the next regular calendar. Another change due to COVID, we will not be providing physical copies of calendars for members. If you like a paper copy, please have your office print it for you. All calendars will be on dashboard or on your iPad. Bills to this committee must be placed on notice by 3:30 p.m. on Wednesday and can be done using the member portal on your iPad or desktop. Amendments must be submitted by 10 a.m. On Mondays for the committee. Any questions on that, committee members? Okay. We have a full calendar today. And with that, actually we have one bill, and that's from our chairman, the gentleman from Bradley County, a distinguished gentleman, I should say, from Bradley County, and our chairman, Representative Howell, you are recognized on House Bill 1651.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do you have an amendment, Mr. Chairman?
I do have an amendment, but I have to confess, Mr. Chairman, it's untimely filed, so I'll be at the
unless
wishes
objections,
of the committee.
I would like to, we can put this amendment on the bill. Any objections? No objections? Amendment? What number do you have there, Mr. Chairman?
I have 012841.
Okay. We have to vote on this, that we're voting on amendment number 012841. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Amendment goes on the bill. The bill is properly before us now, and please, Mr. Chairman, explain your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And are we on military time or 12:24 time?
Chairman Hall and I are on military time. Okay, but you're good to go.
I just didn't want to be late. I never figured out military time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The amendment actually deals only with the illumination or the brightness of a device, advertising device, billboard, the better name. This is a correction the industry brought to me after their conversation with the TML and some of the cities in Tennessee. By the way, the standard brightness in the current law in the state is actually dimmer than what's allowed in some of our big cities across the state. So it doesn't do any harm to the existing law, but that's the amendment. With regard to the bill, you members may remember the legislature passed the billboard bill in, I think, 2 years ago because the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the Tennessee billboard laws were unconstitutional. So it was a pretty heavy lift. We got those rewritten. I happened to carry that bill, which covered all state and federal highways, billboards along those highways. Many cities, many counties in Tennessee just simply adopt state standards regarding billboard advertising and regulation, but some do not. So what this bill seeks to do is create a consistent set of regulations statewide so that companies who are located outside Tennessee who want to come and do business in Tennessee, like any other industry, whether it's automotive industry or pick one, that they have one consistent set of rules to go by. Now, let me be clear. This bill does not remove a local government's ability to zone billboards to certain areas, just like they would zone any manufacturing or any industry, any kind of business. Under this bill, there is no allowance for a proliferation of new signs. This bill doesn't address that. This bill only addresses existing signs, which have been permitted in the past. And what's happened in the past is some local governments may decide to rezone a certain area and say, we're not going to have any more billboards there. And so those signs that remain are grandfathered in, but they're considered non-conforming. They don't conform to the new zoning, but they're grandfathered in. And in some areas, it seems that because they're non-conforming, they have faced some difficulty in trying to upgrade their technologies. And this is something that every industry wants to do. When new technologies come along, they want to upgrade. So this just also, in addition to the consistent laws statewide, it says that those non-conforming signs will be allowed to continue to operate and to upgrade to existing technologies when needed. The case that comes to mind would be, I remember, I'm showing my age, but I remember when gas pumps, you lifted the handle and you turned the crank and it went to zero, and then you pulled the lever up and put it in your tank. Yeah, I'm old. But the technology's really changed on these tanks. Man, it's almost got face recognition on them, and you put a card in now. So it's new technology, but it didn't put the gas station out of business. That's, in a nutshell, what we're attempting to do here. If there's new technology that comes along, it just allows those businesses who have millions of dollars invested in their industry to continue to do business and upgrade their businesses as needed. With that, Mr. Chairman, I would ask for a positive vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that explanation. Do we have any questions or from the members of the committee? Chairman Hicks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, well, just anticipating that one day here.
Yeah, there you go. I don't really have any questions. Johnson City, the city in my district, just had some concerns on this. I don't think they understood or knew enough about it, to where, as this bill moves forward, we would just like to maybe let them have a seat at the table to be able to, for you guys to answer some questions and just see how it's moving forward. All cities have worked extremely hard on this issue over the last few years, and they just want to make sure moving forward that they have a seat at the table and understand everything. I think that's where they're coming from. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative Hicks. Chairman Howe?
Sure. I would just say in response, I'd be glad to talk with them or try to answer any questions they may have at any time. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman. Any other questions? Hey, now, we are voting on House Bill 1651 as amended. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Bill moves out to Transportation Full Committee. Any other business for the committee? Seeing none, do I have a motion or to adjourn? We are adjourned.